Welcome to Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm your host, James Coleman. I'm a writer. I write at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com, and I write on self-help, spirituality, and social change. Check it out, innerpeacearts.wordpress.com. Today's topic is personal responsibility, and this can be controversial in its own way. I met a guy a while back who we were talking about people going into jail. He himself had gone into jail, and his position was that people were personally responsible for their actions and for the actions that got them there. And I was like, well, I'm not so sure, and started to explain my position, and we went back and forth, and of course I didn't convince him of my position. You never convince people most of the time by rational argument. People aren't built that way. It's feelings and experience that change people, not necessarily rational argument. And so we all need to use that more. Anyway, that's another topic. I started to explain my position here, and for people in jail, there are certain things in the environment that make it easy, acceptable, okay for those decisions to be made. And so listen, we're born into a culture. We take on its rules, its way of seeing the world, its way of interacting with the world, and we run with it until we're trained on how to see that cultural embedded programming and change it. Same with family patterns, same with things from growing up. Anything that's gotten into you without your conscious approval, well, it's in there and it's going to work. And so I think there is personal responsibility, right? We can't just say there's no choice. But our choices are bound by programs inside of us, and I think that has to be taken into account in terms of helping the person make a different set of choices. So I'm not saying that if, for example, somebody kills somebody, they should just get away with it because they grew up a certain way. But what I am saying is that there's a certain group of people for whom training would make a difference. That's my point. There's some people who, no matter what you do, they're probably not going to change, right? And you give them all the training in the world, they won't change. They would do it regardless of environment. So some people are going to be susceptible to the environment. Some people are not going to be susceptible to the environment. If they're not susceptible to the environment, and that's who they are, then that's who they are, and that's a whole other subject. But for the person who's subject to the environment, and the environment influenced them in a certain kind of a way, they have an opportunity to change how they treat personal responsibility. That's my point. And so, while we may blame them for being in jail, for example, and say they made choices because there are other people in their communities that didn't get there, didn't go to jail. Why them? My point is that with training, and the right kind of training, some people can be made to take personal responsibility in a different way and set up different rules that guide their personal responsibility. That's my point. And personal responsibility is something that you need if you're going to start to take control of your life outside of all of the influences that would come against your agenda. And you're reaching out into the world and taking responsibility so that you can make the changes to influence as you like. That's really the key. So that's my position on personal responsibility. We are personally responsible. There are some people who can change the way they see personal responsibility by training, and those that can be trained should seek out training to maximize what they get out of life, because you do have to make choices on what you're going to do with your body, your energy, your interaction with this world. So I'm James Coleman. Once again, you can check me out at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com. You can check me out on Facebook at innerpeacearts1, Twitter at innerpeacearts1, and it's been great sharing with you today, and I hope that this note on personal responsibility brings out a deeper sense of your own personal responsibility and gives you a sense of grace and care for those where you see that they're using their personal responsibility not in the best way. And instead of getting angry, you could say, hey, hopefully they're a person who could respond to training, and if not, that's a topic for another day. So once again, James Coleman, and this has been Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. It's been great spending time with you.